Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Little King's story playthrough! So, we beat the evil Ruddies, and there's still quite a few quests here that we could go deal with. 2 Guardian UMA quests, 3 God quests, and so on and so forth. Also, because we beat that Ruddies, we can expand into Glamour Town. Obviously, the Marvellous Theatre is the most expensive thing going at present, so I'm probably just going to shovel the money into Deluxe Residence, and then build up from there. Makes sense in my head, anyway. So, yeah, we lost quite a few people yesterday. Like, pretty much every hunter I had going. Which really sucks. I never like my citizens dying, but obviously sometimes it just cannot be helped. So, I think we should go pick them all up, don't you? And here we go. All nice and safe. And, I'm pretty sure I had 14 animal hunters when I took on Ruddies. I know obviously one of them survived, which I'm very grateful for. But that only makes 13, and I thought I went with 14, so has someone died permanently? I mean, certainly that was what my thought process was at this point in time, and I thought, well, let's go to the church, see if there's a funeral taking place, and, no, it was not, which I was a bit like, I was very confused at this point in time, because it was just like, I thought I had permanently lost someone, but I can't see anybody walking about in black robes, so maybe I'm just mistaken in how many animal hunters I took to that battle, or maybe they didn't all die, or maybe he just permanently became a radish, and so we will never know who he was. I'm sure if I went through all of my lists, actually paying attention to stuff, I would probably be able to tell you who died. But it's not important. What is important, however, are the quests that we are going to take on during this part. Because I want to make sure that all of the quests are done properly, shall we say. So, seeing as they are available now, I want to be able to, just go and do them. It makes sense. Obviously, before we actually do that, I want to make sure that I have all the people I need in my party, so that I can tackle whatever comes my way. And it should all be good. We're probably only going to get through about 2 of the God quests today, because while they aren't necessarily hugely long, they do take up a bit of time, obviously, because you've got to get to the place, and then you've got to do the quest, and all that jibber-jabber. But it's all fine, so let's re-equip everything. This is one of the things that I do find very frustrating, is that if you take people out of your Royal Guard, or if they die, then the equipment is taken away from them. It's not always the case. Some people retain the items, some people don't. It's very confusing, and doesn't really seem to be any way of telling how it's gonna change. But it just means that we've got to go through this menu multiple times to try and make sure that everything is right. I am in the best possible shape to take on whatever awaits at the end of these God quests. And yeah, it'll be absolutely fine at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, generally what you want to be doing with your treasures and equipment is giving anything that increases power or health to your hardened soldiers, anything that paralyzes to really whoever, but if you're sending in your soldiers and also your hunters, that's the way you want to go. And just that sort of thing, really. It's not complicated. Really, you can just go as randomly as I do, and then you're fine. Before we take on any of the quests, actually, we are going to go to Glamour Town. Have a look at the place around us, see where it sits in terms of our kingdom. Also, you know, go tax these people because I want my money. Especially after all the suffering that I have been through to get this place. And, oh! I will happily take an art piece. Hell yes! So, yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a regular occurrence at this point. Whenever we've gotten a new area, it's just time to explore a bit, see where everything goes. But yeah, obviously, the Royal City is just over that bridge. There's going to be quite a few buildings here once we are done. But it's going to be a little while yet before we get that far. Unfortunately, there's absolutely sod all we can do up there at present. And what I'm about to do will seem to not make much sense. But if you talk to your merchant, then they should give you an item. I have spoken about this before, but essentially what I'm trying to do right now is to get that treasure. And I thought, I can do it. It should be okay. I got very confused, because I don't think I'd ever actually picked up the items and stuff, but oh well, it's fine. We'll just head back, because there's not really much else we can do in Glamour Town, I think, at present. And then we're going to pick up the quests. Also, ooh! We can enact that edict, but that's not going to happen anytime soon, is it? So, for now, we're going to pick up God Paper, which shows us a questionable location. I think we recognise that, don't you? We are also going to pick up God Booze, which is going to show us another location. So that should sort of look a little bit familiar. And last but not least, because the game, you know, decides that I can't sit on the throne and select all these three things at once, we're going to go for God Food Stalls. Which, that also looks very familiar. So, I think... Okay, so I'm going to have a rest, wake up in the morning all lovely and refreshed, and then we're going to go take on these quests, because they are quite fun. And also, you need to do these quests in order to finish the game, so they're not optional. And very much like the Guardian UMA quests, they won't run out. So you can do them whenever the hell you like, but I would certainly recommend doing them pretty much as soon as they appear, because it's just all very useful stuff at the end of the day. And also it just means that during this section of the game you can feel like you're making real progress. So that just makes me happy. And, oh lovely, so we've got another thing about pay, and the salary statement. The thing that really frustrates me with this is that it's very easy to pay Verd off. Like, she's dead cheap. Liam, on the other hand, just asks the earth and does sod all. He's a greedy blighter. I mean, look, 2 million bol. And now I don't have enough to pay, Verd. Typical greedy bugger. But it's fine, because it's something that I need to do. I mean, to be fair, they shouldn't be working without a salary. But even then, quite... they should just work for their king. We're feeding them, aren't we? Anyway, also, hello, Campbell. Now, this is something that's quite interesting to note. There's a red glowing light in the sky, and apparently it's God. So, that's fine, okay. You do you, Campbell. And, oh, good lord. 20 people hate me right now. That doesn't make me feel good. That makes me feel horrible. I'm sorry, people. Like, at least 85 people love us like, but still, I don't like that many people hating me. It's not a pleasant feeling. But we're not ending the part there, as you'd probably guess by the fact that I said we're actually going to do the God quests today. I mean, looking at the length of the bloody video, you can see why. But obviously, these things all end up being in different sessions, and you edit them all together just to make it all nice and flow properly. And... oh, okay. Somebody has washed ashore this morning. It's not quite what I was expecting. Let's go pick them up, I think. That's very confusing. So my assumption as to what has happened here is that it must have moved to being so late in the day that this person just sort of turned up. I'm honestly not sure, because I could have sworn I didn't take a carefree adult into battle with me. So, I'm just very confused by this game at this point in time. As you'd probably expect. So, yeah, so, okay, so we've got Hannah now, so... yeah, just very, very, very confused. But it's all fine. We are all good. Let's just get our Royal Guard together and actually get on with stuff today, because I've just been faffing about for the last 12 minutes, 14 minutes and a bit as well. It's very easy to faff about in this game. Very, very easy. I mean, typical RPG stuff, really. The second menus are involved, you just sort of start micromanaging every little tiny aspect. And it can just get a little ridiculous. And also, I hope everyone's followed. But yes, this should have been very obvious as to where it was. But, essentially, it's a hole. We dig up the hole, and Oni are going to pop out. which is that's alright. Really not dealing with enemies too well at this point in time, but it's all good. I can afford to be at least a little bit reckless. And anyway, we're dealing with a god quest, so it should provide at least a little bit of challenge, eh? So, just to make things as painfully obvious as possible, god quests will get you things, well, get you the items that you need to build the flying machine. So obviously it's very important, and to be fair, the challenges themselves are not generally that bad. They mostly just throw some slightly challenging enemies at you. Maybe some unique bosses. Certainly in this case you'll face a unique boss, and certainly in the case of the other two that we're going to take on in this part and the next, you're going to face unique Yume, which is going to be really quite awesome. And one of them, I suspect, is going to turn up any minute now. And there we go. This is the Oni Bride. What you want to try and do is to bring her ever so slightly away from the hole, because obviously that can be a bit of a pain, and just fling... Well, to be fair, I think you can just get away with flinging your soldiers at her, really. Because what she does is she ends up flinging tiny little baby Onis at you to try and hurt you, and they are adorable. They're more of an annoyance than anything. They don't really cause all that much damage, but they can be a bit of a nightmare if you're not careful. But yeah, you are going to do a much faster job if you just send in your hardened soldiers to just cause chaos on her. Eventually she will jump away from the hole, and that is going to make your job quite a bit easier, because you're not going to be accidentally sending your hardened soldiers into a pit. And also, once you've gotten so far, you could potentially get her into a bit of a paralysis loop, like I have right here. Because obviously having a parasol and Cupid's bow means that they're constantly going to be trying to paralyse her, which is just great fun, and just means that she's going to die so much quicker, and she is dead. And we get a special bow. So you're also going to get treasures from this, so the god quests are certainly worth your while in the grand scheme of things, so certainly definitely do them. And there we go. Quest over. We have the Omega Phone. So that is one part done, which is just great. Obviously, as you can probably guess, there is one god quest for every kingdom. So yeah, it's all good. Should probably go and heal up before I take on any other quests today. Because, you know, the next quest is also going to be a battle, and a slightly challenging battle, so healing up would certainly be recommended. And don't worry, I am going to be picking up all of those art pieces that are sitting atop trees very soon. It's going to happen in this chunk of gameplay. Don't you worry, I made sure it happened. Because at this point it just becomes a thing of, let's make sure that I wrap up as much as possible in these areas, so then I don't have to repeatedly go through them all the bloody time. It's not perfect, but it's at least something. So I think what I'm doing right now is returning just to see how much stuff nets us, see if I can pay off Verge before the day is over, and also, you know, hand that treasure in, so that then I can actually make use of it. So, it's all working out, and to be fair, this is turning out to be a very productive day. I'm very happy with this. So, right, come on, Verd. Let's pay you, duck. I do like that she's not playing me for me money. She's like asking for things pretty damn cheap. I can do 500,000 bol. Dead easy, but the second it starts getting up to 2 million and 4 million and blah 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 blah, that's when it gets ridiculous. So let's give ourselves, well, give someone in our Royal Guard that bow, because that's going to be great fun. I think it mostly just increases damage, I think. Increases power? Yeah, ups attack. But obviously that's going to be really helpful because it just means that we have a much more powerful army.
Yes, sir.
And a more powerful army means everything dies fast, and why would you not want that? If I recall correctly, I don't remember using treasures all that much when I first played the game. That might just be my memory being horrible. As I'm sure you've realised at this point, it kind of is. I can remember certain things very well, other bits just don't even bother. Because there's certain stuff that I'm never going to remember. But either way, we're back in the Royal Arbor, and that area that we saw in the picture is down here. Do you remember when we last came this way, there was a gate that was locked that we couldn't do anything about? Well, if you head over that way right now, you will see the gate is broken. And so we must head through it and take on this dragon. Now, it's really not all that difficult in the grand scheme of things. Your best bet for taking it on is just sending in your hunters. Oh, it's a marble dragon, that's quite nice to know. You want to try and freeze it, and that's good. You do not want to be hit by its tailspin attack, because that could be very deadly. And I think it might be the case, it might not be the case, but certainly certain tailspin attacks can instantly kill your soldiers. So you do not want to be getting affected by that. And also, while this is certainly the safer way of taking on this fight, just have a whale of a time, really. I mean, if you've got as many hardened soldiers as I have, you're probably going to be able to take the fella down pretty gosh darn quickly. And, oh look! We got another treasure! This makes me very happy. And also, we've got a hole, we've got an extra path. This is all great. And for God's sake, I thought I was getting away from bloody enemies and holes. There's not even anything important in here. I mean, it's maybe slightly important because it's glowing, but it's not the gods thing that we've come to pick up. Oh, okay, it's an art piece. Okay, fine, I'll accept it. Just quite a cool art piece. I shall point out, if you think I'm skipping through them all a bit too quickly, at the end of the game, when we do a little bit of extras, I will show you every single art piece that is in the game. And, you know, just generally do a wrap-up of everything that you can see, rather than just trying to do it in the middle of the game itself. Just don't want to break up the flow. It's not exactly got much of a pace, because it's quite slow. But we do have a bit of a flow going on. We have stuff that makes sense in terms of the way the parts are structured, in terms of what we get done each part, all that sort of stuff, really. But either way, there we are, all done and dusted. We have the Jungle Juice. And that is another piece of the flying machine. Hell yes! So that's 2 God Quests done and done. And that makes me feel so happy. We've made quite a bit of progress now. We've just got 1 more God Quest to go. We've also got those 2 Guardian UMAs to take down. Got a bit more building, I think, to do, because once we've taken down those Guardian UMAs, we're going to have some new things that we can do, which will be absolutely glorious. But either way, let's cash everything in, see what we can get. Hopefully we can maybe get the Jumping Jack's Edict, perhaps. Oh, no, we are definitely not getting the Jumping Jack's Edict. But, oh, okay, Skinny Ray wants to see us. Why the hell not? We're helping him out. He can have a chat with us anytime he likes, really.
Con la noticia aperta de 5 aves y glacis choclas esperaban comisionar pan de deret para limp y dejis aperta de 5 aves y glacis con un estrecho que del afinador no para limp y dejis choclas esperaban comisionar aperta de 5 aves y glacis con la noticia precisa.
I mean, this is something important to point out. People are going to be trying to leech off of us, as, you know, Verd and Liam already have started to, you know, that they're constantly asking for money.
Yes, sir.
But it's fine. Can't really do a whole lot now, anyway. So I think what we're going to do is rest up and take on another day. Yay!